Be ready. 5 seconds to go. Start. Sir, the purpose of this bill is not to increase anybody's emoluments. The purpose is only to extend to this class of employees the protection ensured to others under various labor statutes. That is all. Therefore, I want to know from the government the logic by which they propose to bring certain categories determined according to their emoluments within this legal protection and to exclude others. We know many of these sales employees nowadays are women. May I take it that if a woman is earning rupees 749, she is entitled to maternity benefit, but if she is earning rupees 800, she is not. What is the idea in the government's mind? I know they have brought forward this bill most reluctantly, having been compelled to do so by the judgment of the Supreme Court and the agitation being carried on by these employees for many years. These two pressures have ultimately brought them very reluctantly to introduce this bill, having brought forward this bill, which is a good thing in principle, which we welcome. They act just like a shopkeeper. High expectations were aroused among all sales promotion employees in the country that at least they were going to get some justice and get some legal protection. But I think if this bill goes through as it is, the effect is going to be most demoralizing and it is going to act as a further irritant to these employees. Certainly, this is not the way that the government will earn the goodwill of these employees. The honorable member says that he would like to see the employees of smaller Indian firms protected. But I feel that this bill, as it is now defined here, will to some extent protect only those employees. It is good because the small and medium scale Indian firms, which also employ sales promotion employees, though in fewer number, generally pay less and their employees may come under this ceiling. Precisely the people who are being protected under the employers of the bigger firms and not the employees. It is precisely monopoly and multinational firms who, out of the huge profits, are able to pay slightly higher emoluments to their sales promotion employees are sought to be protected by this bill by fixing the ceiling in such a way that majority of the employees are excluded from its purview and denied legal protection. Sir, unfortunately for most of us, what is decided by the highest judicial authority in our country is that the directive principles are not as important as fundamental right. It is most unfortunate. I do not mean any criticism against any individual judge sitting. I mean criticism from the point of view of the principle adopted to decide the cases. The directive principles are not only the duties cast upon the state, they are a sort of rights available to citizens as a whole in the country, to the society as a whole. We consider the right available to an individual and we do not consider the right available to so many individuals in the country. We are committing a mistake somewhere. They have decided that because directive principles are not justiciable. Fundamental rights are more important, and when a law is made to implement the directive principles, if it goes against the fundamental right, it has to be struck down. That is most unfortunate. There is a decided case in which a Harrison student was admitted in a medical college. A law was made for that purpose. The case went to the High Court in Madras, and it decided that equality before law is not available under that act because all students should be treated equal, and so the admission was cancelled. That was most unfortunate. It is a different thing that the judgment was reversed, and so many other steps were taken, and we have now in our country students from scheduled castes and tribes getting admission to medical colleges on priority. It is all there, but that a different thing. Only a few days back in this house itself, I do not mean any disrespect to the honorable members who pleaded the cause in the most beautiful, most effective manner. What have we decided? There was a law brought before this House which said that in order to protect the skull and brain of an individual, he should wear helmet. Then, because of the prevailing religious and other social circumstances, certain citizens were given exemption from this. He said, if you do this, somebody will go to the court and get an injunction against this because there is discrimination against women in this country.